Welcome to WHN News, here to bring you the top news stories of today. Chloe, what would you like to talk to us about?
I'm here to talk about the Korean War. It started on June 25th, 1950. It all happened when the North Korea People's Army poured across the 38th parallel, the boundary between North and South Korea. It was the first invasion post-Cold War, and by July the Americans became involved on South Korea's behalf because they believed it was the war against communism. First, the war was a defensive one for the Allies to get the communists out of South Korea. It went very badly for the Allies. In July 1951, President Truman and his new military commanders started peace talks at Panmunjom. Still, the fighting continued along the 38th parallel as negotiations stalled. Both sides were willing to accept a ceasefire that maintained the 38th parallel boundary, but they could not agree on whether prisoners of war should be forcibly repatriated. Finally, after more than 2 years of negotiations, the adversaries signed an armistice on July 27, 1953. The agreement allowed prisoners of war to stay where they liked, drew a new boundary near the 38th parallel that gave South Korea an extra 1,500 square miles of territory, and created a new 2-mile-wide demilitarized zone that still exists today. Here's a visual representation of the phases of the Korean War.
Thank you, Chloe. That was very informational.
You're welcome. Now here, let's talk about cigarettes.
Breaking news. A scientist from South Dakota has made a groundbreaking new discovery that provides evidence to make us believe that cigarettes and smoking them can lead to cancer. Now, with the public knowing this information, companies fear plummeting sales, so they have devised a new plan, including creating ads to try to convince the public that their new product does not cause cancer or that is able to filter out the smoke, as seen in this picture. The reason that companies are trying to mislead you by saying that there's filter smoke is because new research shows that tobacco, which is found in cigarettes, has now been linked to more than 480,000 American deaths. This new research also shows that secondhand smoke has led to 41,000 deaths. So, Americans, in light of this new discovery, please rethink your habits.
There you go. Thank you.
And now,
welcome back to another episode of WHS, here to bring you the top news of today. Here with our first news story is Gracie.
As many of you know, yesterday, the 4th of October, 1957, our first Earth satellite, Sputnik, was launched at Gagarin start. But do you know who created it? On December 17, 1954, Chief Rocket Scientist Sergei Korolev talked to Dmitry Ustinov about building an artificial satellite. They made a plan, got permission from the Soviet Union and the USA, and got to work. Sputnik has 4 external antennas to send us back information. It is currently traveling 18,000 miles per hour around our Earth, scientists say. It is estimated that the batteries will run out on the 26th. Why did we make it and launch it? Basically, it was inevitable, according to Mikhail Takhanov, and if it was, we wanted to be the first ones to do it. We now have a video of the launch.
On October the 4th, 1957, while the Americans were still finalizing their plans, Sputnik was launched.
And now we have Donovan covering one of the newest organizations.
Well, today is July 29, 1958, and as most of you know, NASA was just founded today in Washington, D.C. It was founded by Dwight D. Eisenhower. It is a federal agency that stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It was just created as a result of the space race between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. As most of you probably already know, it was directly created after the Soviet Union launched the first satellite into orbit around the Earth, called the Sputnik.
This just in, on September 23rd, President Harry S. Truman announced that the Soviet Union has conducted a successful test of an atomic weapon. Although scientists have predicted that the Soviets would acquire this advanced technology after the Americans, the general surprise nonetheless has sparked a sense of pain in the United States. In this latest atomic weapon, Deuterium and tritium, which are hydrogen isotopes, are fused into the helium, thereby releasing energy. There is no limit on this bomb. Edward Teller, who has explored the idea of this bomb, supports its development. On the contrary, Robert Oppenheimer and Enrico Fermi oppose this. They said since no limit exists to the destructiveness of this weapon, the existence and knowledge of its construction is a danger to humanity as a whole. In conclusion, the president additionally announced that the work was to continue as the Savannah River will become the site for the nation's hydrogen bomb production. And now we have Seth.
Elvis is sweeping the nations with his music. In 1953, Elvis graduated from Humes High School. That very same summer at the Memphis Recording Sun Studios, he recorded My Happiness, and that's when Your Heartache Begins. The next year, on July 1954, the breakthrough recording in Arthur Big Boy, That's Alright. This song, backed with the Blue Moons of Kentucky, became his first 5 singles. Elvis will release on the Sun's label by November of 1955. Elvis has signed the now famous RCA contract. The price is an unappreciated of $40,000 with a $5,000 bonus for Elvis. In January 27, 1956, Heartbreak Hotel is released. It sells 300,000 copies in the first week and will ultimately be Elvis' first gold record by selling over 1 million. Before January 1928 and March 24th of 1956, Elvis will make 6 appearances on the Jackie Gleason production stage show starring Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey on CBS. On March 13th that same year, Elvis Presley will release his first album and releasing by RCA, selling over 1 million. It will become his first gold album. In 1956, he signed several-year movie contract with Hall Willis and Paramount Production. June 5th, 1956, this is the highly controversial performance of Hound Dog on Milton Dickerson. Elvis Presley was inducted into the U.S. Army at Memphis Draft Board. He's going to be at the Fort Hood in Texas for 6 months to complete basic training. Thank you for joining us on WHSN. That's all for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this segment.
Now.
Alright, do I still snap?
Go.
Am I supposed to go?
Okay. Sergei Korolev.
Someone go stand over there.
Nick,
Nick, shut up!
Shut it up, Nick. That guy.
Just messed everything up.
Or you could be the guy who falls down because of cigarettes and cancer.
Oh, is that what y'all doing?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna freaking kill you.
Alright.
The cigarette's so big. It's so big. It's like this big.
Alright.
Just letting you know, NASA was founded in July 29th. Oh, are we talking in present time?
Because they believed it was the war against communism. Could you guys not watch me? You were just awkwardly standing to the side like.
In news. Here to bring you the top news of today.